welcome to another episode of Friday Night Supper Club. I'm Sarah Lynn.
And I'm Alicia, and today we are making an authentic Mexican chicken mole.
Oh, very exciting stuff. Now, this has been one of the most requested recipes that we have received since we started the show. So we're excited to get at it, but I will say it's a little labor intensive.
Yeah, there are, you counted 25 ingredients. This is Savour's recipe, so it's gonna be legit. It's gonna take us a long time, and we hope you appreciate it. We're sorry you can't taste it, but you know.
That's always the saddest part. You commit to watching, but you don't actually get to taste. We're excited. This is a Puebla-style mole sauce. I think that there are several different kinds.
Okay.
Well, we better get started because we're gonna be here for 6 hours. So the first step in a mole sauce, or at least this mole sauce, is toasting your chilies. Now, we are using a combination of mulatto chilies, ancho chili. It's a giant
What is this chili? I don't even know which is which.
That one is the mulatto chili. I think those are the anchos, and then the other ones are the pasilla chilies. Am I right about this?
Yes, so all of these we had to order online, but I actually got them all on Amazon. It was really easy, but you're not gonna probably find them at your local grocery store unless you live somewhere where mole is very common.
Basically, what we're doing is toasting them for 1 minute per side.
And then once they're toasted, we're going to soak them in boiling water and remove the stems and seeds.
The more seeds you have, the hotter your mole is
I am
going
not
to be.
a super hot. I mean, you really.
Good things happen when you toast your spices first. In fact, one could argue that almost every recipe would be made better by taking this special time to toast your spices.
And we probably wouldn't actually take the time to toast the spices if we were just doing this ourselves on a Friday night, but we're doing it for you.
Exactly.
So we're following the full recipe.
The smell is incredible. And like, that is a good sign. That means that the toasting was all worth it. All right, so it's time to chop these with our boiling water.
And we're gonna let it soak for about 30 minutes so they get soft and infuse all of the flavor, and then we're going to separate the seeds and stems.
All right, we're 3 ingredients down, only 22 left.
All right, I'll see you in 30 minutes.
So while our chilies are soaking away, we're going to be charring up some vegetables,
which are going to get blended into a sauce.
Absolutely. All right, I have to just share one pet peeve about recipe writing. It is customary when writing a recipe to write the ingredients in the order in which you use them.
Doesn't that make it easier for you when you're following a recipe, when everything's in order?
So basically, this is supposed to be garlic, tomato, tomatillo, and onion on a foil-lined baking sheet, but they're all over the place in terms of the ingredient list.
You would never know unless you're really diligent like us.
So these are going under the broiler for the next 15 minutes, but they have to be flipped.
I'll do the flipping.
Over and over again because you want them charred on all sides.
Our chilies have soaked and they're nice and soft. And now we're going to strain them, remove the stems and seeds, and then make a sauce.
And very important, we're reserving the cooking liquid because we're going to actually need it for our puree.
That's a lot of peppers!
That's a lot of peppers.
I think a lot of chilies just provide more flavor than spice.
Right.
And we are gonna reserve some of the seeds so that we can bring a little bit of that heat back, but at least this way we're in control of it and we're not making a sauce we can't consume.
This is a lot of peppery goodness, but it just reminds me how much mole we're gonna end up with at the end of this.
Yeah, we're gonna have
This is only like a third of the volume.
I love garlic and I love roasted garlic, but this is charred.
We actually had to rescue this from the oven at sort of the halfway mark because it was so charred that we thought it would be unsalvageable. So we pulled the garlic out at 6 minutes. These have been in for about 12 minutes with flipping.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the idea is you want it charred for flavor, but this tomatillo is like, has disappeared.
It used to be a tomatillo, now it's sort of mushed.
goop.
But we're going to get this into the food processor.
After we actually have to let that
blend it all up. We have a whole lot of chili goodness. I also have 1 cup of our reserved liquid. That is good. Ooh, I'm just gonna make a hot mess all over the counter.
And the recipe calls for blending this, cleaning out the food processor, and then blending the roast vegetables. But we looked ahead, and then when you make the sauce, you add both purees at the same time. So we're just gonna puree it all together. I mean, come on. This is the exciting part.
You have such a fancy food processor.
This is the best food processor I've ever owned. Ah, a puree.
It honestly already looks like mole.
It does. I think you're right that this is what's gonna give it all the color.
I know it hasn't been salted or anything yet. It's very bitter at this point. It's like very bitter, very smoky, a
There
little
is
spicy.
spice. Woo! Woo!
So we're gonna do this, set it aside, and then get toasting our spices.
So we're to the part of the recipe where we're gonna be standing here for like an hour mixing stuff in the pot.
Things right now are a bit epic. So we're gonna start by melting some butter.
Which is weird because we're gonna toast a bunch of spices in it, and I've never
In the butter.
toasted spices in butter.
No.
It's not plugged in. Ding, ding, ding. Butter starts to melt.
We're just following the
Rules.
recipe.
Okay, so I've got those reserved seeds that we kept from the chilies that we seeded earlier.
Nom nom nom.
I've got whole cloves, whole allspice berries, whole black peppercorns, whole cardamom seeds, anise seeds, not the stars, the whole stars, and half of a cinnamon stick.
A canela stick.
Yes, a specialty Mexican cinnamon stick.
Which is just like a more expensive kind of cinnamon. So I have some plantain chopped. I've got some tortilla chopped. This is a melange of some peculiar items, I think, to put all together. So we've got plantain, tortilla, almond, sesame seeds, not too peculiar, then raisins, toast, just like a piece of white bread toasted, and then all of our chili. I feel like all of these times are a bit off. 12 minutes.
Oh my gosh, we should get some steps in.
12 minutes. Yeah, we might as well exercise.
12 minutes later!
That might have been the longest.
It looks not that different from like 3 or 4 minutes ago.
Can I tell you what happens next?
What happens next?
Half a tortilla.
Okay.
Half a corn tortilla cut into pieces goes in here, and guess how long that stays in there? 6 minutes.
Are you kidding me?
I wish I was kidding you.
Alexa, start a timer for 6 minutes.
Kristen, I have tortilla for you. Come here.
6 minutes, starting now.
Kristen, I have some extra tortilla for you. Oh, there you go.
love tortillas.
If you can believe it, there's more. We have 3 tablespoons of almonds and 1 tablespoon of sesame seeds. Guess what happens next?
How many
Alexa,
minutes?
set a timer for 8 minutes.
8 minutes, starting now.
All right, we've only got one more addition before we do something else.
Which is very exciting.
Finally. All right,
So,
what is this?
this is our chili sauce, our puree.
Which we actually secretly added all the charred veggies to as well, but the recipe literally says add in the chilies. The recipe literally says add in the chilies, add in the veggies right now. So we're like, I think we made an okay decision.
And here are 2 more strange ingredients. So I've got 1 piece of white bread toasted
Yes.
and cut, like torn into crumbs. And raisins. Ooh! Can we be done with the cooking part of this and get to the eating part already?
We've got to blend it again with our leftover reserved liquid from the chilies. And then we've got to put it back in the pan and finally add some sugar, chocolate, and salt.
Alicia and I were just having a really important conversation about who discovered this recipe, like who sat around and said, maybe we should try some sesame seeds. Maybe some raisins would help.
Only 6 minutes.
Wow. It's pretty smooth. This can be either lard or canola oil. We're gonna use canola oil, and as soon as it's hot, we're basically frying this mixture. Oh, So if you can believe it,
1 second.
we actually have to cook this for 5 more minutes.
Chocolate, Mexican chocolate, which is sweet, a little bit spicy, has a little bit of cinnamon, cayenne, and sugar, and it tastes, I've been snacking on it, like a little bit, it tastes like the texture of like sugar crystals.
It really does. It does have that crystallized texture for sure.
Piloncillo.
Oh. Yeah, piloncillo.
It's a Mexican brown sugar. Chocolate, sugar, salt.
Thank goodness.
And we're hoping that this saves the dish. It's done. We have a base of Mexican red rice
yes.
and a roasted chicken thigh on top.
We're gonna get saucy in here. We're gonna get a little saucy. Little green goes a long way.
Yeah, this is a
Should probably
very
get some
brown dish.
Green
so-
on that plate.
This is like, I don't know if this was worth it. I gotta just taste the sauce first.
I've had really good mole, and this is not. This is fine mole.
The thing is, it does taste like mole, but I'm convinced restaurants have got to put 3 to 4 times the amount of sugar in theirs that we did. It's much less bitter. The bitterness after cooking
Has-
it down,
yeah.
and I do taste some of the other spices. Like, it's definitely complex, but I don't know if I appreciate the 66 minutes of waiting
Or
around.
the 25 ingredients. Like I just don't. I
Yeah.
don't know if the raisins made all the difference or whatever. Like that's where I run out of patience with it. That being said, it's not mole in particular. Maybe it's just this recipe, or maybe it's just the fact that I just find it too labor
Maybe
intensive.
we need to eat it with the meat and the rice.
That's true. That actually made it way better.
It's better.
But the chicken's really good.
Okay, I think that I'm swayed. This is a good sauce. This recipe is good. Do I think it's worth it to make it and not order it at a restaurant instead?
No.
I mean, maybe if you're gonna get together and do Friday Night Supper Club with your friends, then it's worth it. But otherwise, I would say stick to paying for it.
I have to say, the complexity of the flavor does really start to grow on you. Like you do start to appreciate the number of flavors within this. So like
And-
the different spices, the different chilies.
The fact that we made it, I'm able to think, okay, where's the almond? Where's the sesame? Where's the cinnamon stick? Whereas when I eat it at a restaurant, I have no idea what's in it, and I'm just like, this tastes so good, right? But instead, I can really appreciate all of the work that went into it.
Yes.
Because I know what's in it,
We haven't stopped eating it since we started.
which is not always the case.
So that is
in
a
these
good
episodes.
sign in some ways. We will link the recipe in the description box below if you and your dearest friends want to try it during your Friday Night Supper Club.
Let us know if you have any other recipes that you want us to try out. All of our social accounts are also linked below. Be sure to follow us, and we will see you next Friday.
Happy weekend.
Oh, this actually worked out. I mean,
Oh my gosh, that chicken is delicious.
it's really good. I don't want to talk to Alexa for like a year though.
No, it's true. We're breaking up.